feel old. I'm kidding. Excited to be back. You know, I was waiting to be back to playoff for my last 10 years. So super excited for the group that we have. You know, and let's go see what happens tomorrow.
Jalen?
Salvi, when you look back at those 10 years, what do you remember most about winning the World Series in 2015 and then the journey to get back here? What's the one thing that really stands out to you?
The way we growing up, you know, Kansas City. All the hard work, all the front office put it on to be in here today. You know, it's a lot of sacrifice. You know, it's kind of hard to lose 100 games. You know, and I've been in that situation a couple of times in my career after we won the World Series. So even last year, you know, I think it was 106 losses last year, and now be available to make it to the playoffs the next year. It's pretty impressive. So it's pretty good.
All right, Jake?
After last year, you guys came into spring training with the goal to win the division, but ultimately to get back to the playoffs. And there was also a lot of support of getting Salvi back to the playoffs in particular. Just from where you guys started this season, coming into this spring training, I guess what gave you the belief in this group and this team that this part of the journey was possible?
Yeah, I think everything started after, you know, last game last year when, you know, front office talk about, you know, get some pitcher and all that, all the guys that we have, Waka, Lugo, Quatraro, you know, all the veteran pitcher. The young group that we have, you know, they wanna go to playoff, you know. So as soon as we get to a spring training, we're just talking about to try to win the division, you know, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we need to, you know, go back to playoff. Yeah, they talked about me a lot, like let's get Salvi back to the playoff. You know, super excited for the group that we have.
Oh, you're right here.
Hi, how are you?
There must have been times, I'm guessing, along the way where you thought it might not happen, that you wouldn't get a chance to go back to the postseason
This year?
ever during that time.
Yeah. It's, you know, bad moments gonna come to your mind. You know, I don't like to think that way, but you know, everybody sometimes we all can see a bad season. You know, but I think we learn from that. That's the good thing about baseball, and I always say that I love baseball because we have opportunity. You know, every day. So not so matter how you do today, tomorrow's gonna be another game. You know, but you know, I try to think positive every time. You know, and I thank God that we make it again to a playoff.
And can I ask one more?
Yeah.
Many you want, sir.
Thanks. How much time? What advice have you given to these teammates of yours who've never been in the playoffs?
And playoff, like, have fun. You know, anything can happen. I remember 2014, the World Cup game we played. It was only one game, 2014. You know, we were down, I think, 6, 5, 7 runs in the 7th, and we end to win the game. So play hard for the first pitch to the last pitch. You never know what's going to happen in baseball. This game's crazy.
Yeah. Yep, Gabe.
Hey, Salvi.
Hi, amigo.
Good, man. You guys play such close games, and your pitching staff has been so good for you down the stretch. How do you feel about following Cole and Seth and the rest of the guys into this postseason, and can they really get you guys on the run?
I feel pretty good. That's why we're here. This guy is doing tremendous job all season long. You know, I feel great. I think Coach's ready. You know, he told me the other day, just another game, Salvi. Okay, I'm gonna do my job. You know, play hard, trying to help my team to win.
Yeah, just go there. Yep, go ahead.
You've been in the playoffs before, and a lot of your younger teammates have, and there's a certain pressure that goes with it. How do you kind of describe what that pressure feels like as a player in the playoffs to perform?
Pressure?
Yeah.
You get excited, you know. I think, yeah, maybe a little more in playoff, but I think in the regular season, every game before I catch one pitch, you know, I get a little excited. After that, just a game, we just compete and have fun and try to do the best to help your team to win. Yeah, I think in playoffs a little more, you know. I think this guy, they ready.
Yep, we'll do here, and then Lindsay.
You're facing another young team on the other side. You've seen the Orioles a little bit this year. What's your impression of their roster?
The way he played, pretty good, you know. They didn't play for a reason. But anything can happen in playoff. So they got some good hitting. Santander have a tremendous year. O'Hare, everybody. So we go see tomorrow.
Lindsay.
Tavi, there's a lot of catchers in this postseason who are sort of in the first few years of their major league career. What do you make of all the young catchers in the game, and what is it like for you to see how the position has changed since you came into the league?
A lot of young guys, is that what you say? What you say?
Or like early in their careers?
I don't understand that much.
She's talking about there's a lot of catchers in the playoffs that are early in their careers. How have you seen
Oh,
the
okay.
position change
Pretty good.
since you came in? Yep.
Smart guy, we have to be smart to be a catcher. I was kidding. Good, Pretty good to see some, young guys in playoff and doing their job.
You were young in 2014 and 2015. What was it like for you to be, like a young member of that team,
Yeah.
really leading that?
Pretty good. I think every time you have a chance to make it to the playoff, it's amazing. Everybody knows how hard it is to make it to the playoff. I was super excited. I remember 14 and 15, first playoff wildcard game. I think nervous a little bit, that was my first one, but excited to, I have opportunity to be in playoff and win a World Series.
Cool. Annie. We'll get you
Salvi,
next.
what impresses you the most about Cole Ragans from what you've learned over the last year and a half?
The way he like super calm on the mound, the way he prepares himself for every time he's going to pitch. So I think he's going to do good tomorrow.
He's still really young in his career, but he's pretty mature. What do you think goes into that, given the season that he's had?
I think the season that he has, the way he prepares himself, I think he get ready every 5 days, to give everything he has, a lot of report, he always talked about hitting and all that. Yeah, he's young, but he think like veteran guys.
All right, Jake.
What's been your favorite part about watching Bobby do what he's done this season, and now he gets to play in the postseason for the first time?
Everything about that kid, man. I always say that he's the best player I ever played with. And yeah, people see him in the field every day, but I had the opportunity to see him in the clubhouse and the way he prepares himself. It's amazing, And he's doing tremendous job. Everything, the way he run, the way he play hard. Even if he hit ground ball to the pitcher, he always run hard. He's the best player for me.
You guys had some success against Burns in April. I mean, what are your thoughts on facing him now, and what challenges does that present?
In April, oof,
Long time ago.
yeah. And he's good, He's one of the best pitchers in the league. So I don't think we're gonna change our plan. We just need to come in tomorrow and try to win some game. I think he's gonna do his job. We're gonna do our job. See what happens.
Cool. In the back.
Not just the 2014 wild card game, but the ALCS here. What do you remember about that series and the environment?
That was a great series. I remember that, everything, the fan, the stadium for it, completely full, the energy was loud. Yeah, it was great memory.
All right, in the back. Jake.
Just to kind of go off of that, based on how you handled the pressure of playing here 10 seasons ago, what advice can you give to those?
To the young guys,
Yeah, but then also for you yourself, just kind of, since you're back here.
yeah, I'll be fine. Just concentration in the game. Try to be the kid's gonna be loud, I get if they feel a little excited first inning, but after that, it's gonna feel like a regular game,
All right, Jalen, you got one?
Salvi, have you heard from some of your former teammates from the 2015 team about just their excitement of seeing the Rose back in the playoffs once again?
I think the most that I talk is Hosmer. Yeah, Moose a little bit, Lolo Kane, They're super excited. I talked to all these guys yesterday.
Wants to start us off? Jake?
Hey, Bobby.
You
You
got one?
said after the clinch on Friday how excited you were to be a part of the pictures and have the shirt. And now you've got the sweatshirt, and now you've got the hat that's got the logo on it, and now it's kind of real. I guess, how is it hitting you now that the team is here and there's a playoff game tomorrow?
Yeah, it's special. This is something I've dreamed about since I was a kid. going into last offseason, this was the goal, and we're here now, and so we just got to keep working, keep getting better, get better today, and then focus on tomorrow.
Jalen.
Bobby, earlier this season, you talked about, watching the Royals come up in the 2014-2015 World Series and winning in 15. Now you're going to be a part of potentially creating another chapter in that legacy. What does that mean to you, and how excited are you to do it alongside your teammates?
Yeah, it's amazing just with the team that we have in that clubhouse, how close we are, and just how special it is. And so, yeah, this is something you want to create something new, because in the past, everyone in Kansas City has talked about the 2015, 2014 team, and so kind of we want to create our own legacy. And so we've been able to learn from that team, those guys too, and with Salvi being on those teams and everyone, so it's going to be try to create our own little legacy.
What's one thing that you did learn from those teams?
Just enjoy it. Enjoy each and every moment, all these opportunities, because you never know when you're ever going to get this opportunity again. But take it all in and enjoy it.
Yep.
People, excuse me, sorry. People often talk about the pressure of the playoffs. It's a different environment, maybe different speed of game. Sometimes it can feel like to players who are new to that. Wondering what your sort of approach is and how you view the postseason, maybe versus the regular season, and also I'm wondering whether maybe Salvador Perez might be giving you any specific advice or his thoughts on, as somebody who's got that experience.
Yeah, I'm going to treat it like another baseball game. That's what we're doing there, and just got to be able to control what I can control out there, and just know the mound is 60 feet, 6 inches away. First base is 90 feet away. It's the same game I've played since I was little, and so just go out there, enjoy every moment, and take it all in.
And in terms of Salvi, is there anything he might have said about the postseason, or maybe just more generally what he means to this team?
Yeah, the stage is bigger and everything, but he just said it's the same game. You go out there and you got to enjoy it. You got to play the game hard. Know that all the work we put in is enough, and we don't have to go out and try to prove other people that we need to do more, need to do less. We just got to go out there, be ourselves, and go play the game that we always have.
Gabe.
Hey, Bobby. How fortunate do you feel to get this opportunity at this point in your career when you consider some guys take 6, 7 years, a decade, in Salvi's case maybe a decade between appearances, that fine line of appreciating the opportunity you have and maybe not making too much of it, like you said, just playing the game?
Yeah, it's an unbelievable opportunity. It's just can never take it for granted, because, like you said, you never know. Some guys never make it to the postseason. Some guys never get the opportunity. So you definitely got to make the most of it, but also enjoy it each and every day, and just take it all in, and really just kind of know that all the work you put in the off season, all the work you put in spring training throughout the whole season is for these moments right here. And so you just got to go out there, like I said before, just enjoy it.
Jake.
30-30 season, a batting title, so many other kind of historical numbers and stuff. Is there something about your individual performance this season that you're most proud of?
Just being able to kind of try to stay consistent throughout the whole entire year, and trying to help the team as much as I can to get to this situation we're in here today. So that was really the ultimate goal. Yeah, the stats, they come along with it, but the goal is to play and win, and so we've done a pretty good job at that. We got to keep doing it, and now we're here in the postseason. This is what we work for, and so we just got to keep doing that.
Cool.
When the Orioles drafted Adley number 1 and you number 2, both teams were kind of at the height of a rebuild. With you now getting your first taste of the postseason with him on the other side, how crazy is it kind of to you to see that kind of come full circle, and what have been your impressions of Adley as a competitor?
Yeah, it's been pretty special just to see kind of what he's done, and just all the stuff kind of for Baltimore he's done too. It's fun to watch, and so yeah, it's pretty crazy just to see that kind of the 1-2, and now we're matching up in the postseason. So it's pretty special, and it's an honor.
Cool.
What has impressed you the most this season with Cole Ragans?
Yeah, just him going out there and just kind of attacking hitters with his stuff. It's a lot of fun. I love being able to play defense behind him, even though sometimes some games I'm not doing a lot of defending. It's more of him just kind of striking out guys and stuff. But yeah, just from him, and the whole entire pitching staff has been unbelievable this year, and even the bullpen has been great. And so it's so much fun just to be able to play behind those guys and just know we just got to get some runs on the board for them, and for them to kind of go out there and do their thing. And so it's been great.
What are your impressions of him, watching him and his game from afar the past 4 years?
Yeah, it's been great. Being able to see what he does, being able to kind of share kind of an all-star game moment with him was pretty special, and then just see what he does and just know how hard he works and just know how he plays the game the right way. So it's a lot of fun to see and kind of keep up with him. Just being able to, we did the summer showcases together, we did everything together, and so it was pretty cool.
Stu.
Hey, Bobby, with Billy's injury and the work you've seen him put in this last month to try to get back more quickly than anybody would have anticipated, what does he mean to this team, and what could he mean if he can come back?
Yeah, he's a huge piece just because of what he's done. He produced on the field and both off the field. Just his presence is huge, and so yeah, just him progressing has been great. I know he's working hard to try to get back on the field.
Jake.
There are a lot of leaders in the clubhouse too, and everyone in some ways is a leader in their own right. And Salvi is the captain. There are a lot of veteran guys too, but you're also looked to as one of the leaders of this team. I guess, how have you grown as a leader throughout this season?
I'm just trying to be out there and play every day and try to just kind of lead by example, I guess, in ways. And so just not trying to do too much, too little, and just try to be the same guy each and every day. And if guys need me to help with whatever it is, just to come to me for questions or whatever, and just being able to kind of go out there and just play hard all the time and play the game the right way.
Gabe.
Yeah, as still a really young player, but one who's accomplished a lot of things, how do you kind of measure what you're doing to get better, like to know that you're fully reaching your ceiling and to continue to improve as you go along, even though you've got a lot of really impressive accomplishments on the board already?
Yeah, I think just by playing more and more games, it just get better. I think just from years to years, from first year, second year, third year, getting better each and every year. And I just want to continue doing that. And I believe I'll keep continually doing that. Just from more experience, you get better. Just from being around the game, you get better. And then just knowing yourself, you get better. Just preparing the way you can prepare, your routines, getting your body right each and every day, and just being able to help perform, and just seeing guys around the league, facing other pitchers around the league, and just getting comfortable in the league. And so just being able to do that, I think I'll continually get better each and every year.
Once you've been through the grind a couple times, does handling that piece of it get maybe not easier, but you know yourself a little more, you know how to handle it better?
Yeah, 100%. Once you get into a good routine and know you just got to be able to control what you can't control and can't let any of the outside noise get to you or whatever it is, and you just go out there and play the game that I love, and that takes away a lot of any worry or any doubts, I believe.
Cool. In the back.
What were some of your takeaways playing last year for Team USA in the WBC? And how do you think that'll compare to the atmosphere of your first postseason game?
Yeah, I think it's a huge thing. Just the atmosphere, just going in when we're in Arizona playing against Team Mexico, just how sold out the crowd was, and just hearing that, and just those are what you dream of. Just being in front of the sold out crowds, even if it's not your home fans, if you're in enemy territory, kind of how we are here. And so, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and just that experience, just even in the gold medal game, and just hearing the fans is everything. That's I feel like that's what bring those guys up to that next level, and so that's what kind of want to do, and just it's going to be a lot of fun.
You good? Yep.
Bobby, you spent some time with Ryan O'Hearn a couple of years ago, and has it maybe surprised you at all to see the player he's become for the Orioles now? And is that maybe just a case of how the change of scenery can really help a guy's career?
Yeah, definitely. He's been doing an amazing job the past 2 years, and it's fun to see. You knew that he had that in his ability, and so he just went and worked in the off season, got better, and he knew his ability, and he was out there now getting a chance to just play a lot more, and he's doing a great job with it.
Over here.
Is there one area on your stat sheet you are most proud of?
I think the win column's pretty nice this year, just because getting to the postseason. But yeah, at any time, I guess winning a batting title is pretty cool, and but just being able to kind of, like I said, win with these guys, get to the postseason, and like I said earlier, all the stats that come along with it. You're not trying to do anything. You can't really control it in ways you can, but the only thing you really can control is how you prepare each and every night, and that's kind of how I go about my business. And so let those stats kind of take care of itself, and then just go out there and try to help the team and enjoy the game.
Cool. We good? All right. Thanks, guys. All right, guys. Game one starter, Cole Ragans. Who's got a question? Annie. Then we'll get you.
Cole, when you think back to the trade last year that made you a Royal, what goes through your mind? Like, what stands out from that day? And given everything that's happened after.
Chaos was that day. But blessing in disguise. I've loved every second I've been in Kansas City. It's been special. This team's special. This organization. But yeah, that day was a little chaotic. I'd never been through a trade. So just trying to, remember names, finally, once I got to where I was going, putting faces with names and then trying to still remember it, a lot of new faces. I'd been with one organization before, but, looking back, like I said, it's a blessing, and, I've loved every second I've been in Kansas City. I'm looking forward to what's to come.
What were the initial conversations like with the Royals once you got settled over there?
Yeah, I mean, I flew in, I went to Omaha, and it was, meet the guys there, figure out when I was throwing. It was, I think we had like a week and a half before the All-Star break, so figure out when I was going to throw. And then, kind of go from there, just feeling it out, really. They had some ideas, I had some ideas. We brainstormed, the slider, that kind of thing. Started working on it, and then just kind of go from there.
Jalen.
Okay, Cole. The Royals put a lot of faith in you, like Andy said, when you got traded over here, and then you were named the opening day starter and things of that nature. What did that mean for them to put so much trust into you and faith into you, and how much have you used that to continue to elevate and grow as a pitcher?
Yeah, I mean, it's, makes you feel good that they have that faith in you. But yeah, I mean, it's just build off of it. They trust me, so just put in the work behind the scenes, prepare the best I can prepare, and give our team the best chance I can to win a ball game. That's all my goal's been all year, is just to win. And but nothing changes just because it's the playoffs. Same routine, same mindset going in, and go from there.
Jake.
First season as a full-time starter at the major league level. What have you learned about yourself as a pitcher, the way you prepare, the way you attack, the way you do anything else, really? I guess what have you learned about yourself this year?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've gotten a little better at making little adjustments in game. Body's a lot more capable than I think what we think we're capable of. You just have to push it to that limit, and I blew my innings limit out of the water, I'm pretty sure. So it just, like I said, just same routine every day. You make little adjustments throughout the year, but yeah, I mean, it's been a hell of a year, and it's not done yet.
By innings limit, you mean the previous career high?
Yeah,
innings,
yeah.
Over here.
Cole, you've seen the Orioles twice this year, pretty polar opposite results. Are you able to have any kind of major takeaways looking back at those, or is it just so long ago you don't really think about it that way?
I mean, I don't forget the second one. But yeah, I mean, prepare the same way. I do my reports, do my studying, that kind of stuff. It's just the fact of execution. It's the playoffs. Everybody's good. Everybody knows that everybody's good. So it's just an execution thing. Trust the guys behind me and go from there.
Gabe.
Cole, what does it mean to you to be the first guy out of the chute for this staff, and to be the guy that, especially with the importance of a game one in a short series, and maybe be the guy that the squad lines up behind if you guys get on the run?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it means a lot that they have, that Q and everyone has the trust in me to go out there and, get us started. Like I said, it means a lot. I'm excited for it and looking forward to it.
And as you were growing up, were there any postseason aces that you kind of watched in October and sort of admired what they did?
I watched a lot of Cole Hamels. That was the main guy I watched growing up. So he had a couple good postseason runs.
I lost track. You had one? Yep.
Thanks. Hi. What does Salvador Perez do to help you? What's it been like pitching to him? And is there anything about the postseason that he might talk to you?
He's a Hall of Famer. I mean, I learned so much from him. He does all of his homework as well. We brainstorm before the game, and he's been doing this for a long time. He's really good at it, obviously, and he's been in the postseason before. So it's just trust him, you know, like we're both prepared. We're all prepared. This whole team's prepared, you know, so it's just, we got to trust each other. That's the biggest thing. And, you know, we've done that all year and going to continue to do it. So he's, like I said, he's incredible, and I'm looking forward to seeing postseason Salvi.
Jake?
What about the other guys in the rotation this year, especially newcomers like Seth Lugo and Michael Watkins? And you and Brady have been around each other a lot, but that group together helped bringing this team to this point. What's the experience been like, all kind of working collectively?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're a family. It's not, I mean, we're so close-knitted. We talk every single day about whoever threw that day. You know, we talk about the outing. We, in the dugout, you know, whoever's throwing out there, it's like, oh, hey, what are you throwing here? You know, little things like that. Like, it's just, we do stuff outside of the field together, our family, stuff like that. It's such a close-knit group. It's been, you know, I mean, it's a special group of guys. It's so much fun showing up to the field and getting to watch those guys every single day do their thing. And, you know, I'm, like I said, looking forward to what's to come here, and, you know, watch them continue to do their thing.
Obviously, only a couple of different teams for you in your career, but do you find that close-knit nature from a rotation is uncommon?
Never really been a part of a rotation like for a full year. But I mean, I just feel like I can't speak for other guys and, you know, that kind of stuff, but I just feel like we're all just such good friends, and you know, get along so well, pull for each other. Everybody wants everybody to do good every single day. We pull for each other so hard, and so it's just, like I said, it's fun showing up to the field every day with that group of guys. It's not just the pitching staff; it's the whole team. It's just like I said, it's an amazing group of guys you get to come to the field every day with.
Over here.
Corbin Burns has been one of the best pitchers in baseball for a few years. Now, you've pitched opposite him in a couple games this year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
What are your takeaways or impressions of him and just the way he pitches and the way he goes about his business?
Like you said, he's been one of the best pitchers in baseball the past few years. No denying it. I mean, when I'm facing off against him, I'm not necessarily facing Corbin Burns. I'm facing the 9 guys that are, you know, in the field and that kind of stuff. So I don't put too much emphasis on the other opposing pitcher, just because I can't control anything he does. I can only control what the guys at the plate, you know, trying to execute my pitches and you know, go from there.
Cool.
30-win jump from year to year is such a massive leap. What do you look at as the biggest difference between last year's team and this year's team? And does a move like signing Bobby Witt to such a massive extension kind of give the clubhouse a boost, just belief from the front office and what you guys can do?
I mean, Bob's unbelievable. I think everybody in baseball knows that. If you don't, you should. But then you bring in guys like, you know, Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha, you know, the guys Will Smith, Chris Stratton. I mean, all these guys that you bring in, it's just like everybody meshes so well. Everybody, you know, they have their routine and all that, but everybody meshes so well as, you know, teammates. Everybody's pulling for everybody, and I think that's what has really, you know, helped us, is you bring in this veteran presence that, you know, these guys have been in the playoffs. They know what it takes to get to the playoffs, and it's, you know, they've been a tremendous help, and, you know, little questions here and there, and just watching them go about each and every day. I think that's a, you know, huge help for us guys that have, you know, a year or two in the big leagues. It's, you know, it's a game changer when you have guys like that have been around, they've had success, they've been to the postseason, they've won the World Series. And just, like I said, it's a great group of guys.
Cool. I think we got 4 more. Start here.
You mentioned Cole Hamels earlier, and when he was in his prime, he was part of a couple teams that could really just set out the rotation saying, you know, starting pitchers go win us a series. And the game has changed so much in the past 10, 15 years. You know, as the #1 starter on a team that leans on its rotation this much, you know, what do you think about that evolution and your opportunity to influence a series, taking the ball?
Yeah, I mean, all of us as starters, we talk, you know, we talk about, like, the teams we're facing, that kind of stuff, but our goal every time we step on the mound is to go as far as we can possibly go until, you know, Q or Sweeney tell us, all right, you're good. You know, that's been our goal all year, is to just get as deep as we can, save the bullpen, and, you know, like I said, give us a chance to win every single game.
Cool.
You mentioned that I don't forget the second one, you know, you're outing against the Orioles. Is that extra motivation beyond the obvious playoff motivation? And in a season that's been so good for you, what made that night an outlier?
I wouldn't say extra motivation. I mean, I'm going to prepare the same. I especially feel like, I mean, it's the postseason. It's going to be loud. It's going to be, you know, you're going to have nerves. Try not to do too much. So it's like, I'm not going to, you know, go out there with the mindset of thinking about what happened that day. But yeah, I mean, you don't forget. I mean, it just wasn't a good day that day. Didn't execute, and you know, sometimes you just, I don't know. I remember pretty much all my outings. I could tell you how all of them went. That's like I said. I don't think it's gonna affect how I prepare or anything. You know, like I said, everybody's good in the playoffs, so just prepare the same that I have all season.
Cool.
Curious about Cole Hamels. Was it the name, or was there more to it that made you look up to him?
I mean, it was more of I started taking my hands over my head in my windup. Found another lefty that did it. It was Cole Hamels, and then just kind of went from there. Watched how he threw. You know, he hit a changeup. Once I got into pro ball, that's became one of my better pitches. You know, high school is a little different, but I still probably watched every YouTube video, highlight video on Cole Hamels throughout high school, just, you know, admiring. He had a lot of success. He had an unbelievable career. He was 08. I mean, had an unbelievable postseason. So just, I mean, he's fun to watch. He was, you know, it was a good team, and he was a big part of it, and it was just really fun to watch.
Cool. Annie, bring us home.
Well, I know you're pretty far removed from the Tommy Johns, obviously, but when you were going through that, was there any worry from you that you weren't going to be able to make it back as a starter?
There was worry that I'd never play baseball. Yeah, I mean, you go through one, it's all right, but the back-to-back, you know, the second one, there was days where I was like, I don't know if I'll ever, you know, be healthy again. Who knows? Just kind of our motto this year in the clubhouse with everyone is day by day, and that's was kind of my motto there. I can't look too far forward, and, you know, I can't do anything about the past, so focus on today and, you know, go from there, and now we're here.
Just the fact that you did make it back to baseball, and then also as a starter, what does that mean to you? What does that say about, you know, who you are?
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of credit has to go to training staff, strength staff, you know, that I was with at the time. And I mean, the group of guys I went through rehab with, two completely different groups from TJ1 and TJ2. But there was a great group of guys, you know, we made the most out of being in rehab. And, you know, I'm blessed to still be able to, you know, play baseball and be a starter at the big league level.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody. All right. Manager Matt Quatraro. Who's got something? Andy.
Just
Hey.
want to ask about Vinny and his status going into tomorrow, where you guys are at with that.
Yep, we're gonna. You know, we were hoping to get a live BP in with him today, but we're not going to be able to do that. So we're going to simulate it the best we can, not off live pitching, but in the cage, machine, arm, and we're going to see how he comes out of that in the morning before we make our decision.
Are things still trending the right way, though, for that? I mean, I know, given all the steps that he's taken, especially the last week.
Yeah, yesterday was a good. You know, he didn't do anything yesterday. It was a recovery day. He'd been pushing it pretty hard since the surgery, so everything was fine as far, like, he didn't do anything to test it yesterday. So came out of the live BP on Saturday really well. So we were encouraged by that, but this will be another big day to test it.
Jalen.
Thank you. We talked a lot about you guys making the playoffs and getting here, but one thing I wanted to know about is just seeing some of your own staff, the Brian Sweeneys, the Alan Zumwalls, just celebrating this moment with them. What does that kind of mean to you, knowing to see their growth from last year to this year?
Well, I couldn't feel better for everybody in the organization, regardless of the position they're in. We know what an enormous operation this is through the off season, spring training, all the way through the year. Everybody contributes, and if anyone doesn't do their part, we're not in the spot we're in. So specifically the coaching staff, the way they pour every ounce of effort they have, the sacrifices they make, their families make, I feel tremendously happy for all of those guys. And it's something that, a lot of people go their whole career and never get to a postseason, and to not take that for granted and to have a great deal of gratitude for that. I know these guys do, and it's a pleasure to work with them.
We had one over here. Yep.
Your team went through some rough patches at some point in the last month or so. How do you guys right the ship from that, and what can maybe benefit from those struggles now?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, I think about it. There's very rarely a team that goes through a season without some sort of a rough patch. But whether that's 2 games, 4 games, 7 games, whatever your losing streaks are, these guys in this clubhouse are so resilient. They bounce back. They really do the best job I've ever seen of turning the page from one day to the next. Even in that streak, we lost a lot of close games that were heartbreaking. They come back the next day with the same effort, the same energy, the same intensity. And that's what I think is really special about this group, is the resiliency, the day-to-day fortitude that they show.
Cool. Jake?
What did you learn from watching Kevin Cash and Terry Francona managing the postseason?
I mean, there's so many things I learned from those guys, but it's not just postseason. It's being into every single pitch of every single game, giving your team the best opportunity to succeed, understanding that it's okay to feel nervous. It's okay to embrace the fact that it's something new in some cases for guys. But just being positive, being themselves. They didn't change their demeanor, whether it was April 1st or October 31st. It's the same game. It's the same actions. Now, you might make different, there are several, the year 2016, the bullpen was such an enormous part of that. 2020 was a completely different year. So, there's things that you pick up here and there, but more so than anything, it's the consistency of attitude, the consistency of effort, how they communicate with the players.
Did you hear from either of them after clinching?
Yeah, definitely, both of them.
Cool.
How would you describe Salvi Perez's contributions to this team, and does it matter that the rest of your team does not have playoff experience, and can he help, or in what ways can he help given his past experience in this part of the year?
Well, to your first point, his contributions are enormous. I mean, day in and day out, from whether it's the off season included. I mean, he is never taking a minute to not think about how he can help the organization, the team, the city. He's larger than life in every aspect of his persona, but it's all genuine. And I would push back a little bit. We have a lot of guys in that room with postseason experience, and that was a main goal of ours in the offseason, was to acquire the Wakas and the Renfros and on and on. There's plenty of other guys that I know I'll miss names going through this, but people that have been there and done that so that they can provide real life examples, and even in season pickups with the Gurriels and Grossmans and Phams and those kinds of guys to go along with the young talent we have is a really good blend.
Cool.
Matt, you guys haven't faced the Orioles since April. Does that make your scouting of them a little more difficult?
I don't think any more difficult than normal. I mean, we may not have played them, but it's not like you don't follow what's going on. And, they were just playing the Twins. So, we've been watching it. We know who was possibly on the agenda here coming up. So we've had people watching them. Our guys do an unbelievable job of leaving no stone unturned. So, it'll be a little more of a rush. Clearly, we didn't know where we were going until whatever time yesterday. So, that's a lot, but that's how the postseason is. You have to prepare for 2 teams at all times until you get to the World Series. And so it is a ton of work, and it's a lot of heavy lifting for the guys. But really, at the end of the day, we don't want to do anything different than we would have done in how we prepare the players at any other point in the season, because we need to treat these games like they are the same.
When you look at the Orioles scouting report, what are the names that jump out to you, and what do they do that make them so difficult to match?
Well, start with the guy pitching tomorrow. One of the elite pitchers in the game for a number of years. Power stuff. He's going to be an extremely tough matchup for whoever's in the lineup. And that's the hallmark of any good team. I believe that's why we're here, is our pitching. They're super athletic up and down the lineup. They can provide a ton of matchup problems for righties and lefties, which is a thing, we're comfortable with a lot of our guys being neutral split guys, especially out of the pen. So that hopefully is a benefit to us, but they have the same thing in their pen. So I think it's a really unique series with a couple of the young superstars of the game. Some really good veteran players as well, guys that have been there. I mean, they've had guys that have had remarkable careers over the last several years, and being in the AL East for as long as I was and seeing the development of the Santanders and those kinds of guys, it's fun for the game. It's fun for me as a fan of the game, and you want to match up with this kind of team because it's good baseball.
We'll go here and then.
One of the things that's changed over the past 10 years or so in baseball, you've had a front row seat to it, is the de-emphasis of the starting pitcher in postseasons. Playing a lot of matchups, having a lot quicker hook, managing a team with the rotation and strength. How do you go about doing that in 2024? And if these guys, pitch as well as they can, what kind of advantages that?
I mean, I think I shouldn't speak for it. In my case, if our starting pitchers pitch the way that we've seen them pitch all year, I'll be fine letting them continue to pitch. I mean, that's the huge part of why we're here where we are. Now, I will say we've had, our bullpen, especially in this last month, has been remarkable. These guys have picked up a ton of innings. They've had great success against both side hitters, and they've built a lot of confidence. And I think that's something we knew going into this year. We were going to be relying on a lot of bullpen guys that didn't have a ton of reps, especially in high leverage in the big leagues. So as we've gotten them those reps, you've seen them respond. So I feel really good about that as well. But by no means are we going into this with only 2 times through the order or any of that kind of stuff. We know what the strengths of our team are, and we're going to try to ride that.
If there's no live outside, is Smith gonna throw? What's his status tomorrow?
We cannot get a live on the field today, so we're going to push back any of the stuff that we had planned on the field today.
Jake?
Just going back to the bullpen, Chris Boomer had been mostly a starter until this year. He was coming off Tommy John surgery. Daniel Lynch had never made a relief appearance. Angel Serpa made his first opening day roster this year. I guess with those 3 guys in particular and the way this bullpen's currently constructed, I guess what's your perspective on the way that bullpens kind of take shape over the course of a season and how you get contributions maybe from unexpected places?
Well, I don't think you come into any one particular year knowing exactly how they're going to shake out. You might leave spring training with a plan, and it doesn't take long for that to change with injuries and performance and all those kinds of things. To your point, you always need someone to step up that wasn't necessarily penciled in. Sam Long's a perfect example of that. Lynch, I'm really proud of Lynch for a lot of reasons, but he was right in the mix to be on the opening day roster as a starter, and that was a big blow to him to not do that and then to come up, make a couple spot starts. But we talk to these guys all the time. A lot of things in life, and especially in baseball, don't happen on our timetable. And for him to stick with it and improve and improve and improve, and when he got his opportunities up here to be a huge part of the reason we're here is remarkable, and he should be commended for that. And a lot of guys are in that spot. I mean, we picked up Ursig at the trade deadline and just said, here, go pitch in the highest leverage in every game we can possibly use you. And he's responded incredibly well. And I think it shouldn't go without notice that some of the guys that are currently injured in Stratton and Will Smith have been a huge influence on these guys throughout the course of starting in the offseason and into spring training. They have had a huge influence on the development of a lot of these younger pitchers.
What have you noticed about Will and what they've done? What have you kind of observed them do to help these guys?
Well, their willingness to share experience is a big part of this, right? I mean, they've been through this. They've had their ups and downs year after year. I mean, it just understanding how to deal with the emotional toll it takes on you to fail or to succeed. You know, a lot of people are afraid of success at times. You don't want, like, how long can this last, right? And it's okay to ride those kinds of things out and be honest with yourself about the emotions. And I think that's a big part of what they've done.
Cool. Got 2 more over here, and then Annie.
If he's cleared tomorrow, are you looking at Pasquantino to come back and play first base, or is it more of a DH, just looking for him to swing the bat?
Yeah, he will not be able to play first base if he is cleared at all.
Yep. Annie.
to get him? And did you expect him to kind of take off like he did?
Well, I think to rewind from the trade, it goes to the signing of Chapman in the offseason, and Rene Francisco was a huge part of that. You know, he got to know him. He knew other people, did a ton of homework on him. We went and watched him throw. We went and met him at his house, talked to him, all those kinds of things. So that's a perfect example of all the pieces needing to come together in just the acquisition of someone like Chapman. And then the trade, you know, I'm sure I don't know all the details of how that went down, but I know Gene Watson was a big part of it. You know, JJ utilizes the whole pro scouting department and amateur scouting, all those things. You got to know the Rangers system. You got to know who you want, and you got to, you know, trading takes two, right? So the acquisition of Cole is one thing. Now, we did think he had a really high ceiling. Clearly, you can't bank on him all of a sudden coming to be the American League Pitcher of the Month last August. And, you know, to Cole's credit, he attacked the offseason and spring training like he was trying to make the team, not be the opening day starter. So he took nothing for granted, which I think speaks volumes about his character and his personality, the way he approaches every day.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right.